All right, everybody. Today's going to be a pretty simple video considering we're going to talk about how this puppy, as I'm going to now call it, has been doing for the last 4 months. It's been interesting, that's for sure. So to begin with, obviously it runs well because I can still make these videos. They still get posted. They still look fabulous, honestly, considering everything that's going on. But it isn't without its hiccups. The biggest one right now is, while you can see these fans are working fine, I have no control over them. These are the fans that are connected into the case itself, which that isn't a big deal. That was on purpose. The problem right now is I can't control any of the RGB fans in this. The fix I have so far, just so that I can have RGB, which is what I paid for, I have to go into Armory Crate, which I'm actually going to do right now for you guys. Oh, why is it installing something? Oh. All right, so a quick BIOS update, and it fixed the problem I was having, so that's good. That does cut out a video I was going to do later on troubleshooting. I might still do it, though. So when I got it and I built it, I did a BIOS update. For whatever reason, after that BIOS update, it made me lose control of my RGB fans. What I had to do was get on Armory Crate, turn off the RGB on all my fans, turn them back on, then turn them back off, and then they would at least be on Rainbow Puke. But that's fine. It's colors. I like them. Now I have control of them again. So the front fan's just solid blue. The rest I have going Starry Night red and blue because I think that looks really good and it matches my branding for my channel. So good for me. Past that, the all Asus build that I've done has been really good. Let me take you over to Armory Crate really quick here. So first off, it's really cool. They have a game launcher thing here just to see what games are on. These are the ones that I've played most recently. Emulators are really cool to me. Shows me all of the core clocks, GPU memory clock, my RAM, all of it. It's really cool to me on how this is all working. Shows me what the temperature is for CPU, VRMs, GPU, the DRAMs, and what my CPU usage is, my GPU usage is, RAM usage. Now, this is all stuff you could also just get by going to Task Manager and then going to Performance, CPU usage, and it's relatively close. There's some differences here. I don't know if it's because of which one is getting reported to first, but I don't really care at the moment. Now, this is just the straight dashboard. It's just the entire system of all the Asus stuff put together. Now, this also means I can control fans and how fast they go and the voltage of the CPU score. And it's just really telling me what it is. I'm not going to edit this. If you want to overclock your CPU, depending on if you do AMD or Intel, there's different ones you need to get. For AMD, it would be the AMD Ryzen Master. Now, I would be remiss in telling you this. Overclocking is not recommended by AMD in any means. And if you do, there is a very good chance you void your warranty. In fact, when you open AMD Ryzen Master, it tells you not to do it. You do not need to overclock your CPU. out of the factory, most of these CPUs are pretty much set to max. Going any higher is honestly a good way of destroying or hurting your CPU, and you've paid good money for these. Try to get as many years as you can out of them. Now, another thing about this is the tools section of the Armory Crate. Let it load here real quick. I swear this thing is getting slower. Hello? There it goes. This is just a quick way on how to, at a glance, make sure all of your drivers for your motherboard, in this case, is set up and up to date. So let's just verify. Let's do my AMD chipset driver. Most recent chipset, 3.10.22.706. That is the exact one I am on, and that is the latest it's showing. I believe it used to also be able to do BIOS updates on Armory Crate. It no longer can. Whatever. There is also extra utilities you can get. Chrome, which I already have, so it's fine. AI Suite, CPU ID ROG version for CPU Z, which I did get immediately. There's also Daemon Tools, Game First for Bullguard, Overwolf, and WinRAR. I don't use most of these. The one I use actually is the RAM Cache 3, mostly because it tests my RAM and I thought it was interesting. It also gives you all of your AMD and Asus, well, actually it's just Asus to be honest, all the Asus documents and manuals that you need for your motherboard, warranty card, and a pickup and return service. And then there's also these. Let me see if I can see anything else here. Oh, actually, this is important. I don't use it. You can set actual profiles for different games for how your computer reacts. I don't use it because I want my computer to react one way and one way only, how it is currently. But going to the game library, you can set to whatever profile you choose. And also, you can edit game info, edit how the game shows on your game library here. Just, there's a lot of things you can do on here. You can go right into it from Armory Crate. It's a little bit of a roundabout way of doing it, but it's a way of doing it. Here is Aura Sync, which is how you sync all your RGB components. Addressable LED strip would be all of my fans. The on this particular case, there's a little LED strip on the bottom where the power supply cover is. And that's it. There's also memory, my graphics card, my beautiful mouse, and the motherboard itself. Now, that's not all of it. You can also get right here, and that's all your parts. So we're going to start with the ROG Ryujin 2. I have 3 default animations I can choose. Usually keep it on the Republic for gamers, of gamers. I could do the 70s thing, but it's not my thing. I could also do this animation one right here, which I could even have it be a clock. Now, there's other things you can also do with it. You can have it be a hardware monitor. Show off your CPU temps. Even have some cool theme animations going on in the background. And you can customize it to show whatever you want. Do you want it to be temperature? Okay. You could have it be water flow. AIO info on how the temperature of the liquid's doing. And you know what? Let's keep temperature, but instead of that, let's do motherboard temp. I'd rather it be this. I also honestly would like a custom animation. I'm kind of debating on taking my logo and putting on it and animating it. But for now, this or this works perfectly fine. And honestly, it looks really good with all the red and blue going on in my back on my fans for the RGB. So through this, you can actually tune your fans to how you want to act. I have it set I think this is actually pretty close to how it usually is. This is the pump setting. This is the micro fan, which is, I believe, the fan that's on the actual Ryujin 2. Now, you can check firmware and your whatever this is. So we're gonna check for my firmware, and you can do all of this just on this app, as long as it's all Asus. It does take a minute, to be honest. Just as any RGB application does, it does take a while to check things. I'm not really sure if it has to do with a few things, I imagine, but I can see all my components right here on if they need updated. Now let's go back to this. Let's go to my motherboard. I want to check something really quick. As soon as it loads, there it goes. Oh, this is actually kind of cool. You can calibrate your RGB headers. I'm assuming this is mostly just to make sure that it's all reading correctly. I don't really use the 2AI cancellation, so I'm not really sure what it does. But this is all my info again, just for the motherboard. And this is the my storage. Power on hours. Power on count. Host rights, host reads. This one has significantly less, but I've also used it significantly less. We're learning now. Let's go to my graphics card. I think this should have some fun. It only has lighting. My mouse does have some features to it. I believe, show it on the video I did this on for the ROG Spatha X, which is my replacement for my previous mouse, because I'm dumb. You can map any of the keys on here. There are a bunch, but it also gives you the ability to map all these keys as well, because having just 6 wasn't enough right here. And by the way, I only found out about this a little bit ago, and I didn't really realize it honestly a little bit ago, is this side here looks like the Asus eye, and it just made me happy to realize that. She kind of looks better from that angle. I'm sure somebody from Asus is going to see this and be like, it took you 5 months to figure that out? Not the brightest. I do like the fact that I can map all these keys. That doesn't make it better, but the amount of keys they have on this is awesome. Performance, I have it set to these 4 DPIs because I don't really need more. I'm actually not even positive I really go that much. Actually, I forget how I can change it. I think I usually keep it on 1600. That's about my sweet spot, honestly, and I don't know. I do keep the polling rate as hard as I can, and there's something called angle snapping. I don't really see that big of a difference when I use it and don't use it, so that's a thing. You can also customize it to be your own different RGBs if you really want to. Some of these actually have more options than if you just use AuraSync, because different components get different kinds of little specialties. You can also calibrate it to a surface. I did a manual calibration for my desk pad, but for all of the Asus mouse pads, and just generic ones too, they have preset calibrations. So as soon as this loads up, I can kind of go through them with you, because I couldn't, well, it's not selected. So you can customize how high you have your liftoff. I'm not sure I can honestly explain liftoff to somebody. Just go off of what the picture is. Just don't worry about it. But these would be the Asus mouse pads that you can do. And these are all the presets. Honestly, for most people, and honestly, I could have also used it for my own mouse pad, I would just go with this ROG Scarab or the default. Calibrating it to any of these, though, would also, if you have any of these, just go with the one you have. But I like manual calibration, and we're just going to have to recalibrate this. And that keeps it all good. And if you have any issues with it, calibrate it again, and you'll be fine. This is the power. I can select power usage for how much. Actually, that's the alert me. I have it alert me at 20 just because I like having some time. And then if it's been idle for 3 minutes, I set it goes to sleep mode. This is what the battery power is. I need to charge it tonight. And then again, I can check for firmwares. It'll just take me to the settings again, just so meh. If I still had my Asus keyboard, I would have it on there, and it would give me options on how to map the slider on the side. I like my custom keyboard more, to be honest. But honestly, for all the things I have done with this computer, it has been gorgeous. I don't feel like I need to update or upgrade anything for at least 5 years. The only problem I can see myself running into is the fact that AMD is changing platforms. So I will have to, when I do my next upgrade, if I go to Intel or AMD, I'm gonna have to get a new motherboard as well as new RAM, because DDR5 is out and that's what's gonna be the new standard. But by that time, I wonder if DDR5 will be close to dying too. I don't know how long memory usually stays on the top. DDR6 could be on its way. Who knows? I think the only upgrade I could honestly think of that I would do is upgrading my RAM, because there are 2 kits of 16 gigabytes, so totaling of 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's not a small amount, but if I ever get into editing higher graded videos, because this will be a fun explanation for you. This is a 4K video. I downgrade it and render it in 1080p because it looks a little crisper then. Everything about this I could make even better. Honestly, there's not a big reason performing wise in gaming or computer performance to raise my memory more, but I also edit and render videos on a weekly basis, so anything that would lower down my time would be much appreciated. But thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like the video if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel. Also, link is down below to the merch store. Go get that merch. If you guys enjoyed this video, go check out the setup playlist I did for my upgrading of all this. It did take a little bit from the shelves behind me to the computer itself. It was a ride, and trust me, there's a couple people that remember it on this channel. So, guys, thank you again for tuning in, and have a good day.